welcome to the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie here at DentonRadio.com. It is very cold and chilly outside. I hope you guys are keeping warm. You know, it is just this crazy, crazy weather, and I'm glad for fall, and I'm glad for fall outfits, but I'm freezing. So today we have Ashley and Jacob here, and I'm so glad to have them here because they're going to be talking about the Denton Swing Dance Organization, and you guys are going to tell us all about yourselves, all about that, and what gets Denton swing dancing here. So go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I'm Jacob. I'm going to talk just a little bit about how I personally found swing dancing, and I bet you Ashley's and just about every other person's story is basically similar in the sense that one day there was a friend of mine that said, hey, do you want to go swing dancing? And I said, I don't know about swing dancing because I've never danced before. And I went once, took a lesson, stayed for a dance, and kept going back every week. And now here I am like 4 years later running Denton Swing Dance Organization.
You're running it. So that's always a fun task to do because I know organizing is always a full plate.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you? Who are you, Ashley? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Ashley, I found swing dancing because when I was an RA, I ran a program that was dance, and then we had swing dancers come out and teach, and then it was like, it didn't stick. And then after I graduated, my friend Cameron was like, let's go swing dancing. And I was like,
Same
all right.
thing, huh?
And then it just kind of stuck.
Nice. Okay, so we know you guys got a little taste of swing, and then it didn't leave you guys. So we will go back into that, but let's talk about who you are as Dentonites. How long have you guys been here? How did you land here? Were you born here? What's the story behind the people?
I am a transplant. So I was from California. My dad was in like the Navy, so we moved around a lot. And then when he retired, we moved to Denton when I was like a sophomore in high school. And so I've lived there, and I went to UNT for college, and then I graduated. I stayed here for a bit, and now I live, well, not in Denton anymore, but I'm still here all the time.
Yeah.
It's where I know everything.
We have a lot of people who are very loyal followers of Denton, so their heart's in Denton. So, and we're always hoping they come back. You know, a lot of people do leave and come back, so we do get that a lot.
Yeah, I always like to think of Denton as like my second home. I was born and raised in San Antonio.
Were you?
Yes, and then I moved up here for college. Graduated with 2 music degrees. By trade, I'm a classical violinist and a teacher. Wow. So I came from San Antonio knowing that this was such a big music school, and lived in Denton for 5 years.
Wow.
And then I just recently moved not too far away to Plano, but I still definitely come back. I feel like 3 times a month, 4 times a month.
Well, you guys are here running the Denton
yes,
Swing Dance Organization.
That's about half of it is that.
Yeah.
And then the other half is just still going to see shows and doing all the fun thing that artsy stuff that Denton is known for.
Of course, obviously, and you guys being a big part of that. So how did you guys become involved with the Denton Swing Dance Organization? How did that happen? Was it at the same time, or did you guys come in at different times, or how did that happen? How did you discover it? What was going on?
So we came in a little bit, I think, different times. I think
I came to Denton, like the Denton Swing. I just started attending in like 2015. And then we came onto the board together at the same time, awkwardly.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a kind of merger close by. I was dancing, I think, in 2014. The first dance I ever went to was actually in San Antonio.
Oh, nice.
2 weeks before I went back to school. And then, of course, look on Google, say, hey, what's still swing dancing up here? And I found there's one in Denton. So it starts first was just coming to regular dances and then being an actual member of our organization, which we'll talk about later. And then every now and then the people that run it kind of shift out and shift into place, and that's where we fell in line.
Which happens a lot. It's a very normal process here in Denton. A lot of people have, regular life happens, and people are coming and going, and they hand it off or they step down or whatnot.
Right.
So what's interesting is that I remember being at Studio E for one of my events, and I happened to go upstairs, which is odd because you guys were on the bottom floor of the building there. I forget the name of it. What is it called?
The Hickory Building?
The Hickory Building. There's another name for it, but I can't remember.
I think so.
So I'm like, what is this? And the place was packed with people swing dancing.
And on a real good night.
Yeah,
I mean, it was packed. You couldn't even breathe. There were so many people in there dancing, and everyone everyone in that room was swing dancing. I think with the exception of a few people on the very side because there was no more room, the whole place was just having a blast. I mean, and I'm like, I'm going to go sit here. I sat on the steps and I recorded you guys, and I wish I would have brought that clip, but I recorded the whole floor. It looked like it was a movie, like Grease. You know, you're in a movie doing the last scene in the movie, dancing away. But it was really neat to watch. And I was like, this is so cool. I didn't even know we had this in Denton.
Yeah, and you know that happens to a lot of swing dance places.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, just the idea of swing dancing to jazz music from the 30s and 40s and still keeping this partner dance alive that is very much an American cultural phenomenon. Is very much tied together to what Denton is as a culture. It
was very amazing to watch it because everyone there they were having fun. There was not anyone there that looked out of place. There was not anyone there that looked like they were awkward. Everyone was having a good time, and that's what prompted me to invite you guys. Immediately, I was like, I got to get these people on the show. So I was like, well, who do I talk to? There's like 100, 200 people in here. So I'm glad I found you guys. It's really neat to be able to share that with other people because a lot of people may not know about it, and I would say a lot do because you had a lot of people dancing that night. I mean, it was just amazing. But how long has Denton Swing Dance organization been around?
Well, according to Will, who's also on our board, he started this in 2005, and they went on for like a year or two, but then they took a break, and we didn't officially become an organization until 2015, but it was active before that in 2009, just kind of like to get things going, and it became official in 2015.
And it's jumped around. When you came and saw us at the Hickory, that was one of like maybe the second or third dance that we've had at that location. It started at like the second floor of a gymnasium somewhere, and then at some point they moved to a couple different churches, and then at some point they moved to a judo gym, and then they were at the Sprocket's Bike Shop for a while. They had it there, and that's kind of when I first started going, was when they were at Sprocket's.
Me too. It was like right before we got kicked out.
Yeah.
It was like when I was there.
And then we moved from Sprocket's to to Green Space Art Studio over off Malone, I think. We were there for a while, had a good time there, and then we have been eyeballing that front, that lobby. If you would see it, it's a beautiful old building, perfectly fits with the music, but you would never expect that we could transform that foyer into a dance hall for a night and come back. And so Ashley contacted the building owner and the leasing people, and then we got a lease, and now we're here.
Nice. Okay, now where was this again? What building is that?
The Hickory Building, 207 West Hickory.
This one over here,
right off
okay.
the square.
Which is very historical too.
I was just gonna say that because one of the things that was so eye-catching about y'all is that the fact that a lot of people were they're dancing in attire from that era. So it looked really, really authentic, being that the building itself looked very antiquated. So when I was watching, that's why I say it looked like a movie, because you're looking at something that almost looked, staged, not in a bad way, but it was the outfits, the music, the decor in the building, down to the hardwood floors and the spiral staircase or the wooden staircase. So it looked really authentic. And then people just dancing their behinds off, and they knew what they were doing. Everybody there was swing dancing for sure. So it was so much fun to watch that, and it was very captivating. So you guys are over there at Hickory, and you throw your swing dance parties out there. So if someone were to get involved in Denton Swing Dance Organization, where do they start? Because do you guys give lessons or?
Yeah, so we have our dances about twice a month. So it's the first Saturday of the month and the third Friday. So most of the time it falls on a really good schedule of like the first weekend of and then the third Friday the following. So, and then we have a beginner lesson from 8 to 9 on Fridays and Saturdays. And then on Saturdays, we'll have like an intermediate lesson at 6:30 to 8, just to kind of give people who've been going to that beginner lesson a chance to like improve a little bit. And then we have a social dance afterwards from 9 to midnight.
Oh, very cool. So you're basically catering to all levels, all in one evening, which is really cool, because then it gives a chance to intermingle, I would think. Do the beginners stay to watch the intermediate?
Yes. With our social dances, we pride ourselves on everybody dancing with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, people that have been dancing for years will still dance with beginners. People that are just starting can feel comfortable to dance with somebody that's in an intermediate or advanced level. That beginner lesson is structured so that somebody that has had zero dancing experience, like myself when I first took the lesson, can come in and have success at the end of the night and know enough things to dance with somebody from 9 to midnight, dance with multiple people from 9 to midnight. So that's how we cater our beginner lessons.
Well, that's an amazing format to have, because a lot of times, especially with dancing, you know, people may have that desire, but they also have that awkwardness. So when you equip them with that, just like you said, we give them the tools to be able to dance from 9 to 12 or whatever, then it takes away that awkwardness. And then they are able to say, you know what, I had a great time, I'm coming back. So how big is your group?
In like people that attend? We have quite a few people.
It depends. Yeah, it could be anywhere from like 50 to 100, depending on what else is going on around. We have people that drive in sometimes from Dallas or Fort Worth that come to our dances. And a lot of times in the summers and right around when school starts, we get this influx of people from UNT and TWU that are coming in, or in the summers, people that left Denton to go to school or come back, maybe swing dance other places, and then look for that place in their hometown.
Yeah, definitely.
So it fluctuates throughout the year.
Yeah, I would imagine so. A lot of stuff does here in Denton. So you guys have the residency there with Hickory, right? So they can always find lessons. They can always jump into one of your classes.
Yes.
And you said they were on Fridays and
Saturdays.
First Saturdays and third Friday. So the next dance that we're having is this Friday.
Oh, nice.
So you can come at 8 for the beginner lesson.
That Jacob and I will be teaching.
Yes, we are teaching that night.
Nice. That's really cool. You guys, I mean, how much are the classes?
It's like
$7.
So for the whole night,
$7
you'll get
cash
the
for
beginner
whole
lesson,
night.
and you'll get to go to the social and just dance the whole night away.
Okay, you guys,
So-
$7 for a lesson on swing dancing, and I'm not kidding you, they have a blast. You guys got to get out there and
Yeah,
do
it's a
something
good deal.
different. Come on, get out of the box, you guys, and go do something fun and different. And you know, there's so many different things to do here, but every once in a while you run into something that's just completely different, and I would say this would be one of them. And then you know, if you like it that much, you're going to want to go get dressed up to the occasion, you know, fit the style and the era of swing dancing and whatnot. That's always fun, I would imagine. So once you get into swing dancing and once they start going to the classes, let's say, how do you progress them? How does that happen?
A lot of the progression that we have comes in the social dancing.
Nice.
So we give tools and concepts in beginner lesson, and then that lesson more or less stays the same every time. It's usually like A, B, and C stay the same, and then D at the end is a little bit different.
Okay.
We don't teach all the time. Our teachers change every time. So people that are on our board teach. We bring in also instructors from Dallas and Fort Worth that come teach. But a lot of that kind of learning and going through happens on the social floor by just dancing with other people at different levels.
And each of them having different styles.
Yes,
too, right?
everybody is a little bit different. So.
Nice. So I'm wondering, you guys obviously have those instructors that come out to teach, but do they come back periodically?
Yes.
Okay, I was just going to say, so they can build on their knowledge of, so-and-so's coming back. I love the way he taught, or she's coming back and she has this move that I've been wanting to learn or whatnot. So it's buildable with your basics that y'all provide. The rest is more like spark and fancy stuff and whatnot. So that's really cool. So how many instructors do you guys usually have rotating in and out?
We just have like a random assortment. So lately we've been having like our intermediate lesson teachers be teachers who are teaching together like somewhere else, like for a different lesson. And so that we encourage people to go there so they can learn more from them, or people who've been dancing for a long time. And so they can go dance with them in other locations like Dallas or Fort Worth.
So I have a few friends that do swing dancing, and one of my friends, Sherelle Weems, who is very active in the swing community, I would see her posting pictures, and I'm like, she looks like she's having fun, and she ended up becoming an instructor. So I know that people get that itch once they start doing it. They're just like, I'm going to do this all the time. This is too much fun. So after the students go through your programming and you're progressing them, or they progress, because I would imagine a lot of it is self-progress too.
Yes,
So you got to dedicate yourself, and you know, maybe people don't go every week or every Friday or Saturday, but they come at their own pace. So after let's say they've been there a while, and they're pretty decent swing dancers. Then what's next?
So in our beginner lesson, we teach East Coast swing, which is a 6 count. So we encourage a lot of our people who are starting to like get tired of that 6 count and then move on to something else to learn Lindy Hop, which is 8 counts, and it's just the same footwork that they use. And so we encourage them to go dance with us and learn it from us when we have our intermediate lessons, and also go to Dallas because they'll have a lot of like Lindy Hop workshops, and
Fort Worth too.
Fort Worth as well, and just kind of like learn from them, because that's kind of the next step of like our swing dancing lessons, of just like you learn East Coast and then you kind of hopefully move on to Lindy Hop and learn other dances like Charleston or Collegiate Shag or Balboa, and just kind of like working all those into your normal dances.
The word swing is thrown out there for the style of dance, but it really is just a big blanket for Lindy Hop, like she said. The East Coast swing, which is what every beginner learns. It's the first dance that you work through. Charleston, which started in the 20s and took off in the 30s. Balboa, which started in California and is a fast type dance. Collegiate Shag, all these different styles of swing that stands to jazz music fall under this blanket.
I would imagine. So I know there's, you know, just like with Latin music, you have different things. Salsa, merengue, you have all that different variety. And no, it's not all the same. I know to some people they may think it is, but no, it's not. So I can definitely see all the different flavors being progressive, and some more challenging than others, and, you know, some very basic and whatnot. So do your class, or I want to say class, but do your students or do your participants get a chance to perform like in a show?
We have performed in the past. I think it was like 2016. We did a showcase with I think Karen from Green Space, and so she needed someone in between her like glasses to like kind of do a performance, and so we've done that before, and we've performed at what is it, Arts and Jazz?
That was right before I came on. They did a performance at Arts and Jazz. Every kind of at the half of our dance, we do a jazz line dance called the Shim Sham.
Oh, nice.
And that's done solo. It's done jazz movements. It's not like electric slide or things that repeats over and over, repeats twice. You know, you can't really get it the first time. But I like to think of that, and I think the people that do it as a performance in itself, so that they're performing for each other. And we always do it facing. If you look at the Hickory Building, it's glass doors, so people walk by and see what the heck's that? What's going on? And there are all these people doing the same dance. So I like to think of that in itself as a performance.
Very cool. And a lot of people love that kind of stuff because they feel it like a collaborative, fun piece, you know, everybody does that stuff. Okay, so where can you guys, like personally, do you guys perform outside of the group? And
so we're both a part of 35 Jive, which is a DFW based like performance team for Lindy Hop and whatnot. And so I manage that team, and we kind of perform at workshop weekends. So I think in Fort Worth in like 2 weeks they're having Sundance Swing Out, and so we're having a performance there, and also like local community events. So we'll be at Arts and Jazz Fest in April. And
a couple of things in Dallas. We just did a performance in Houston.
Oh,
so
very
that
cool.
specific team combined, we call it 35 Drive because everything is off of
35. Nice.
So there's some of us from Denton, there's from Dallas, some from Fort Worth.
Y'all
and
just
all
hop on the
meet
highway
together.
and that's it, right? Beep, beep, let's go. So when you guys go, I would imagine y'all have all the attire and everything and dress up and whatnot. I always think that's the coolest. I'm sorry I keep going back to that.
No,
so it is a really fun part of it.
It's fun, and you know, you see people do that, but then you see people that come in t-shirt and jeans, or even someone comes in sweatpants. That's fine. You know, it's not like people don't
like ballroom competition where you've got all the
We want again, the biggest thing that we want everybody to do is just to have fun.
Well, it looked like
that's
they were
our
having
first
fun.
thing in terms of what we as people that run this organization look for, is to make sure that everybody, regardless of if you're just starting, if you've been coming for a while, if you've been dancing for years, that they're having a good time.
Very cool. And I believe they are, because every time, or when I was out there, I saw that everybody looked like they were having a great time. So what else do you guys have planned? Tell me a little bit about any plans specifically. I know you just named some, but let's reiterate a little bit more, because I want people to know where you guys are going to be at.
Our next dance is October 19th.
Okay.
Until Friday. And so we'll have that beginner lesson that Jacob and I will be teaching. And then 9 to midnight, we'll have dances that are DJ'd by local DJs.
Yes.
Here in Denton.
Here in
Yes.
Denton. So it's in that Hickory building right across.
Okay. So you have a basically the open dance party.
Yes.
Right.
And these DJs, only play swing jazz.
So they have a big library of this kind of music. You're not going to be like, what do I play next?
Right. Yeah. We bring people. I DJ. We have a couple other Denton people that DJ, and we do bring people from Dallas-Fort Worth too, just to
Very
get some
cool.
perspective. So that stuff we play is traditional stuff from the 30s, Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, and then there are some modern bands that have taken off that play this swing era jazz that we play through too.
Very cool. Anyone local?
That can lead into our next thing.
Ooh.
On November 3rd, which is our first Saturday dance,
Nice.
we are having a live band, which usually happens maybe 3 or 4 times a year. We have a live band out.
That's
And this
pretty
particular
cool.
band
Is our favorite.
is our favorite because I, like I said earlier, I was a music major in college. That also kind of attracted me to, doing something musical that wasn't playing music all the time. So I always tried to bring out my music friends because, hey, this helps with your rhythm. This helps you feel so good. And UNT being such a big jazz school, one day I said, hey, do you guys want to come and get a couple people together and play for our dance, and you'll get paid and we'll have fun and everybody will have a good time. And so it stuck. So about maybe 3 or 4 times a year we bring back, we have a name for them.
Kyle and the Quintet on Cue.
Kyle and the Quintet on Cue. They are all
Nice.
musicians that went to school at UNT, are Denton
Very
people, and we
cool.
bring them into, instead of DJing, to play live for us.
Okay, and that I would imagine brings a whole other level to the
Yes.
party.
It is so good.
Because you actually feel like
Connected.
you feel connected, and it probably exhilarates everyone even more so, because the music, I mean, everybody here knows what music does to all of us, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're all like that here in Denton. But that's pretty neat. So that's going to happen
November 3rd.
Okay.
Also, we're having Jerry and Kathy Warwick from Dallas, who are like big swing dancers, like come out, and they're going to teach our like an intermediate workshop with blues, and like come out and DJ their band breaks and everything, and they're phenomenal and so great.
Very, very
So it's
cool.
going to be a huge party. You're
Yeah.
definitely going to want to come to that one.
That is, I believe that would be a big party, because having a lot, and is it going to be there too? 'Cause
Yes.
y'all are
Ma'am.
basically
Everything
resident. Yeah,
is at the Hickory.
that's your residency there for right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So, what was the name of that band again? Just so.
Kyle and the Quintet on Cue.
Kyle
but
and the
we're hoping that
Quintet.
it's a quintet and they
Yes.
don't bring any more or less people.
Kyle and the Quintet on Cue.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be fun. Well, good for you guys. Oh, we have some messages for you guys.
Aw, it's Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Chris Jersey is from New York, and he's a faithful listener or a viewer. So, hey, Chris, all the way from New York, all the way from Denton here, saying
Yeah.
hello to him. So,
Wow.
Yeah, and you look, New York has such a big, I mean, it has the biggest impact in terms of how swing dance started, because
Yeah.
this dance originated in the 30s in Harlem.
did it really?
That's where it first started, and as a part of the Harlem Renaissance came along with that jazz. Faded out around, a lot of dancers, swing dancers like to say the twist is what killed swing dance. So being this solo movement in the 50s and jukeboxes and lack of finances for funding big bands kind of took
Kinda
that down the
fizzled it,
drain.
yeah.
And then in the mid 80s, people started finding this footage of these Lindy Hoppers dancing in movies and things, and found the living members.
So it's like Frankie Manning.
Frankie
and
Manning
Norma
is
Miller.
a big name. Norma Miller is a big name. And basically said, hey, teach us how to do this. Along with that, if you go back and remember how the 90s were, the big neo-swing phase that came out of
That
LA,
Gap
the
commercial.
Gap commercial where everybody was throwing people around and swing dancing, and bands like Brian Setzer and Cherry Pop and Daddies, they all came around And that's kind of when the resurgence came about. So, Denton was a little bit late to the party in 2005, but everywhere else there were these clubs, these organizations that were dedicated to keeping this dance alive.
I would say that they are doing a good job now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's you see, I see it often enough to where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. So you do see a lot of that happening and being kept alive, and that's really awesome. So where would people find? Do y'all have any more events that y'all want to talk about?
Ooh, Jacob and I are teaching the beginner lesson in Fort Worth.
Nice.
That's true. So
for the rest of this month.
Yes. So
2 more times.
Fort Worth has its own swing dance society. Fort Worth Swing Dance Society. They
Syndicate.
Syndicate. I'm sorry. Syndicate. All the words are slightly different. Fort Worth Swing Dance Syndicate, or FWSDAs as we call them. They have dances once a week on Thursdays at the Community Arts Center. And so just how we outsource to them, they outsource to us. So we're teaching their lesson.
Nice.
I'm DJing a couple weeks from now, and last Thursday of the month, I DJ there.
Very cool. And a lot of our artists and our people here in Denton are obviously central to Denton, but we obviously branch out. I know I do as well. Every once in a while, I'll go out and do stuff for art stuff for in Dallas. So it's very common for that to happen, but we're glad that we're sharing between our sister cities and whatnot, but we're very proud of what we have here as well.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Definitely, and there's so much talent here, obviously. So where would people find you guys as far as connecting with you, whether it be for a lesson or, hey, where can we watch footage? That's what I would want to know.
Oh, I don't know if we have footage.
We've got some stuff on.
Everything we post is like on Instagram and Facebook, like just Denton Swing Dance. But I don't think we have.
Yeah, we put a lot of stuff on our stories and a lot of things this way. So, especially if you look at that right on when our dances are, you'll see a lot of footage of people going through and what we do that night. So you can follow us on Instagram at Swing Dance Denton. Post cool hip stuff there. Follow us on Facebook, Denton Swing Dance Organization. Events are posted there. Things are shared there. And our website, which is dentonswing.com, has a lot of other questions that are commonly asked. It has all of the calendar of events that go on in Denton, swing dance related, as well as the events that go on in Dallas and Fort Worth. So all of that's on our website.
Very cool. Okay, well, I hope that somebody's going to be watching and saying, hey, I saw y'all on the show, the Denton Vibe, and I had to check y'all out.
Yeah, we're teaching. Come tell us. Come tell us that. We'd love it.
Yes, and I mean, you guys get out there and go check it out. It's definitely worth just even watching, because I was just like, oh my God, this looks like so much fun. I had fun taking photos. I had fun doing the video. And I'm sure if somebody wants something different, I think it would be great for a date night.
Definitely.
If we do have a lot of something different,
it's definitely a different date night. It's not just a dinner and a movie. It's a fun thing
it's
to
like
do.
you got your shoes on? Because let's go. We're going to go dancing. Definitely. So
we, you can come with a group of friends.
Yes.
You can come by yourself. But the way we do our lessons is everybody rotates. So it's not like you can, if you want to be attached to one person, that's fine. But we really pride ourselves in everybody can dance with everybody in the lesson. If you want to come by yourself, that's great. If you want to bring your whole squad, that's cool too. So
definitely,
it's open to all sorts of different people and different ages.
Well, it's a really neat place. Like we mentioned before, you guys get out there and definitely go get a feel for the authenticity of this group, and it is a lot of fun. You have a few more messages I'll let y'all catch up with.
Bryn says, y'all doing great. Bryn is going to be DJing our second half.
Woohoo! Nice.
And that's my mom giving me the thumbs up. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Jacob's mom.
That's awesome. You always got to have your mom or someone, grandma, somebody supporting you.
Somebody's there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for being here. I was so excited to share you guys with everyone. Of course. And I'm going to try to make it out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get out there and see the I'm not going to promise I might have to observe. I need to observe, and then I might have to jump in there. But
we break it down so easy that you can just learn it in that hour.
Oh, very cool.
You don't have to have any sort of experience at all.
Okay, well, you guys are. We'll see if that happens. I'll be like, they were right. I had a great time, and I know how to dance swing. So
Leslie asks, is Denton Swing making an appearance at the Day of the Dead festival?
There you go.
We are
this year
unable
we are not,
to
with the way the calendar has lined up.
Hey,
But
you know
in
what? We
future
all
years,
have busy
maybe.
schedules. Sorry, Leslie. But you can find them on Friday, right?
Yes.
Friday?
Mhm.
She's in Seattle right now.
Oh, come back, Leslie. So
Leslie's like our Denton swing mom. She's one of the
Mm-hmm.
one of the first people that also started it.
Really?
So, yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you to Leslie. And who was the other? Will? Was it Will?
Yes. Will is I think the only person right now. There's 5 of us on the board that is still an originating member.
The originals.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you to Will for founding such a wonderful group too, and that's pretty awesome. That longevity wise, you know, you guys are going strong, and I would imagine you're like growing like crazy because you guys had that house packed. And I would imagine it's going to keep going from that point. You might have to think about an upgrade too. Sorry, Hickory, but they're going to grow.
We really like that spot.
Yes. I know. It's very authentic.
It's been our favorite so far, and we hope we can really make it a long-term thing.
Yeah, it is a really cool spot for you guys, and I can see why. But thank you so much for being here with us today. Of course. And I cannot wait to see more of y'all's dance stuff.
Yes.
And hopefully I'll be able to shuffle around with you guys.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But thanks so much, and thank you guys for tuning in on this rainy day. Y'all stay warm and join us next week on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie. Thank you.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.